In Korea, military discharge isn't just welcome back. It's a career reboot button. Because the second a star returns to civilian life, the industry moves fast and ruthless. Brands start circling, dramas start offering scripts, and fans don't just celebrate, they demand a comeback moment big enough to erase the lost time. Today's episode is about the top 3 Korean celebrities who just got discharged and instantly became the hottest names again: Suga, Kai, and Lee Do-hyun. Suga officially completed his mandatory service in June 2025, with formal discharge procedures dated June 21st, making him the final BTS member to finish service, meaning BTS reunion energy instantly exploded worldwide. Kai was officially discharged on February 10, 2025, and the moment he returned, the EXO comeback plus solo restart conversation reignited immediately. Lee Do-hyun was discharged on May 13, 2025, ending 21 months of service and basically reopening his actor timeline overnight. But this isn't a bland update video. We're breaking down why these 3 are hot post-discharge, what kind of comeback lanes they're positioned for, music, drama, global platforms, and which one has the scariest momentum heading into 2026. Ready? Let's start with the name that doesn't just return. He moves the entire industry's mood: Suga. Suga's discharge didn't feel like one member returning. It felt like the final lock clicking open. Because in BTS's military-era storyline, Suga was the last piece the public was waiting for, not just as a person, but as a symbol. The moment he finished service, the world didn't hear "Welcome back." The world heard, "Reunion energy is officially real." Reuters reported that Big Hit Music confirmed Suga effectively completed his alternative service by using remaining leave on June 18, 2025, with his official discharge date on June 21, 2025. And unlike some of the other members' returns, there was no public event planned, specifically due to overcrowding concerns, because even a quiet BTS moment can become a crowd control problem. That detail matters, because it tells you something brutal about BTS's scale. Even their silence is dangerous. The industry doesn't treat their return like a regular celebrity update. It treats it like a mass movement. Why Suga's return hits harder than people expect. Suga isn't just another member. He's a pillar in the BTS identity, the producer brain, the writing voice, the emotional tone that makes songs feel like confession instead of performance. So when he's gone, BTS feels like a system missing one of its core processors. When he returns, it doesn't just mean 7 together. It means the machine can run at full power again, and that's why the discharge became a headline beyond fandom circles. Reuters framed Suga as the last BTS member to finish service, with the group having paused full group releases since 2022, and noted the intense public attention around the members completing their service. AP also highlighted that as of June 2025, all 7 members had completed service, setting the stage for the group's reunion narrative to officially move forward. The post-discharge hot factor. He doesn't just come back. He triggers the whole BTS calendar. This is the part that makes Suga one of the hottest names just discharged. Most stars return and then slowly rebuild momentum. Suga returned into a situation where momentum was already waiting like a loaded spring. Because once the final member finishes service, every question becomes immediate. When is the group project? What is the next era? What does BTS sound like after time away? And the industry knows that whatever BTS does next won't just chart. It will reshape what other labels plan, what dates other groups avoid, what brands chase, what global media covers. This is why Suga's discharge feels like flipping the power back on in a city. The drama twist. The quietness is the loudest signal people expect BTS moments to be huge and public. But Reuters specifically noted there was no public event for Suga's discharge. In CNET drama terms, that's actually even more powerful, because it turns the return into a controlled mystery. No big gathering, no chaotic footage, No single clip for the internet to overconsume. Just a cold fact. He's back. And when a star is this big, a controlled return creates a different kind of heat. Anticipation that doesn't burn out quickly. It stretches. It lingers. It makes people wait, and waiting is what creates obsession. Why Suga is hot right now in 2026 talk. Even though the discharge date is 2025, the wave hits into 2026 because Just Discharged in K Entertainment isn't about the day you leave service. It's about the first full post-service chapter, the era where projects begin stacking and the public sees what you do with your reset. Suga's reset is the most valuable kind. It isn't only about his solo lane. It's about the largest group brand on Earth becoming complete again. And now we pivot to a different kind of post-discharge heat. More immediate, more performance-focused, more stage beast returns. Because if Suga's discharge is the final fuse for BTS, Kai's discharge is pure comeback fuel. Dance, visuals, and the type of solo return that can dominate spring playlists overnight. Kai's discharge storyline is a different kind of heat from Suga's. Suga's return is a fuse for a global reunion. Kai's return is a switch you flip, and the performance machine turns on immediately. Because Kai isn't just an idol, he's a stage language. When people say EXO performance, his name is basically part of the definition. So the moment he finished service, the comeback conversation didn't slowly warm up, it exploded. Soompi reported that Kai was discharged on February 10, 2025, and not long after, he was confirmed to be preparing for an April solo comeback, which is the clearest signal of post-service momentum. No long recovery, no slow reintroduction, straight into activity. And that's why Kai is one of the hottest, just discharged names. He returned with a schedule, not just a headline. Why Kai's post-discharge buzz is so intense. Kai's power is built on something that ages incredibly well in the idol world: performance identity. A lot of idols are famous for eras. Kai is famous for movement. His brand isn't just songs. It's the way he turns choreography into attitude, the way his face sells mood, the way a single stage can go viral without needing a scandal or a storyline. That's why the public reacts fast when he's back, because the product is instantly visible, and post-military returns reward exactly that. You don't need the audience to remember your voice slowly. You step onto a stage and remind them in 3 seconds. That's why his comeback is built to feel immediate. Visuals, dance, performance clips, teaser photos, challenge clips. Every part of modern idol marketing fits him like a weapon. The EXO factor. His return isn't only solo. Kai returning doesn't just mean Kai solo is back. It also recharges the EXO conversation. Because EXO is a group where each member's presence changes the group's texture. Kai's absence creates a performance gap. His return makes fans start asking the bigger question again. What does the next EXO era look like when the lineup is stronger? That dual heat, solo comeback plus group anticipation, is exactly how you stay trending. Even if you're promoting one project, you're generating speculation for another. And in K-pop, speculation is free marketing. The dramatic twist, Kai's comeback, is a proof test. Here's what makes Kai's post-discharge chapter spicy. People don't just want a comeback, they want a statement. Because military service puts a pause on momentum, and the idol world is merciless. The moment you return, the industry watches to see if the star power still hits the same. For someone like Kai, that proof test is almost unfair, because the expectation isn't be good. The expectation is dominate. And that's why his April solo comeback matters so much. It's not just music, it's the first post-service performance verdict. Now we pivot to the third name, because if Suga is the reunion fuse and Kai is the instant stage restart, Lee Do-hyun is the actor version of this story. The return that can trigger casting offers, brand deals, and a full drama schedule overnight. Lee Do-hyun's Just Discharged heat is a different kind of hot. Idols come back to stages. Lee Do-hyun comes back to scripts. And in Korea's drama industry, being a young actor with strong momentum before enlistment means one thing. The moment you return, casting directors start moving like sharks smelling blood in the water. Not because they're cruel, because timing is everything. The audience is waiting, and platforms want the first post-discharge project moment. Soompi reported that Lee Do-hyun was discharged on May 13, 2025, after 21 months of service. That discharge date matters because it places him perfectly for a 2026 schedule, enough time to line up projects, shoot, and come back with a major release, while the fresh return narrative is still burning. And Lee Do-hyun's narrative is already strong because he had pre-enlistment credibility. He wasn't a new face. He was already treated like a rising lead actor. That's why his return doesn't feel like welcome back. It feels like, okay, what's next? Why Lee Do-hyun stays hot after discharge. Lee Do-hyun's advantage is that his popularity isn't tied to one fandom cycle. It's tied to public recognition, the kind that comes from dramas people binge, talk about, and emotionally attach to. So when he finishes service, the audience doesn't need to relearn him. They already remember the vibe, intense, grounded, vulnerable, and capable of carrying romance or heavy drama without looking like he's acting too hard. The drama twist. Actor returns are ruthless. Here's the cold truth. For actors, the first post-discharge project can define the next 3 years. Pick a safe role, and people say you're playing it safe. Pick a risky role, and you might blow up or get dragged. That's why Lee Do-hyun's return is so watchable. The public isn't just celebrating him. They're waiting to judge the first move. And that's what makes him perfect for this top 3 list. He represents the post-discharge actor heat, where the buzz is built on anticipation of what you choose, not just the fact you returned. Now we hit the payoff. These 3 names, Suga, Kai, and Lee Do-hyun, are all just discharged, but hot for totally different reasons. One triggers a global reunion, one triggers a stage takeover, one triggers casting chaos. Here's why this top 3 works. Suga, Kai, and Lee Do-hyun are hot after discharge for completely different reasons. They're not competing in one lane, they're detonating 3 different lanes at once. Suga, BTS, Chakras, global reunion fuse. Suga's discharge is bigger than a solo return because it completes the full BTS lineup narrative. Reuters reported his official discharge date as June 21, 2025, with Big Hit noting he used remaining leave to effectively finish earlier, making him the final BTS member to complete service. His heat is timeline reset energy. The world starts counting down to the next BTS era the moment he's back. Kai, EXO. Instant stage restart. Kai's discharge is performance fuel. Soompi reported he was discharged on February 10, 2025, and confirmed to be preparing for an April solo comeback, which is the clearest sign of post-service momentum. No slow return, just immediate activity. His heat is visual plus choreography dominance, the kind that goes viral fast and pulls group hype along with it. Lee Do-hyun, casting floodgate. Lee Do-hyun's discharge on May 13, 2025, reopened his actor timeline right before the 2026 production cycle ramps up, putting him in the sweet spot for a major post-service project announcement and return wave. His heat is script power. The first role choice becomes a national-level conversation. So who's the hottest? If you measure global shockwave, Suga is unmatched. If you measure comeback speed and stage impact, Kai is lethal. If you measure industry opportunity and drama momentum, Lee Do-hyun is the one to watch. And the real twist is that all 3 are hot at the same time because 2026 is basically the post-discharge era for multiple giants, meaning the industry is about to feel crowded with returning stars. So in Korea, discharge isn't the ending, it's the restart. Suga came back and completed the BTS reunion story. Global timeline energy instantly reactivated. Kai came back and immediately stepped into comeback mode. Proof that stage monsters don't warm up, they attack. Lee Do-hyun came back and reopened the casting floodgate. Now the only question is what his first post-service project will be. And that's why these three are the hottest just discharged names. They don't return quietly. They return with momentum, and momentum is what decides who dominates the next era. Now it's your turn. Which post-discharge comeback are you most excited for? Suga, Kai, or Lee Do-hyun? And what do you want first? Album, stage performance, or drama lead? Like the video, subscribe, and tell me what you want next. Top 3 female stars post-discharge to watch, or the biggest career glow-ups after military service?